Good morning, everyone. I pray all is well with you. In today's live stream, we're going to go over a $100,000 grant. Also, I'm going to tell you how you can have me write a grant for you and for just $37. So stay tuned for that. And any questions or curiosities that you might have about grants, that is the purpose of this live stream. I am Shelby. I am a 71% successful grant writer. I've been writing grants and winning millions of dollars in grants for 11 years. And I teach you guys all about small business grants and what you need to know about them and how important they are, and how you should use this as another funding opportunity to be able to, um, you know, scale your business and stuff. Okay, so as you're joining in, or if you are watching this live stream afterwards, I appreciate you for clicking on this video. Promise I will be short today. It is March 26th. So I just wanted us to have like a recap. A lot of the videos and live streams that you will see, I'm pretty much saying the same thing, but then sometimes towards the end, we do get questions that come up about different, grants that you can go for. So if you do have any questions or curiosities, drop them in the chat. I love a interactive chat, okay? Because the whole purpose is I am an experienced grant writer, a 71% successful grant writer. So what does that mean? That means that 71% of my clients that I would get in a year, let's say 500 in a year, they get approved to at least one grant that I apply to for them. So I'm teaching you everything for free of how I do this. I've been teaching you for 7 years on YouTube for free, talking about grants. Okay, so it's very important that you take advantage of me being on live stream and ask questions all the time. Okay, don't be afraid. We're all friends here. No question is stupid. Okay, if you don't know, ask. This is like literally a free consultation that you can get instead of paying hundreds of dollars for a business consultation or getting into a Zoom call with over 100 people and you don't get your questions answered. Okay. So, if you don't know what a grant is a small business grant. A small business grant is a reward that you can get from a business entity like Amazon, Google, Apple. You can get it from your state and local governments, and you can also get a grant funding or a grant money from a private investor or something like that, right? Or a funder. And so you can use this grant funds for anything: supplies and equipment, for payroll, to start your business, to invest into like your systems and setup, to invest into a physical location, for so many different things. All right. So you can use a grant for so many different reasons. And there are different grants out here that you can go for. So let me kind of break that down so you can know exactly what this means. 84% of small business owners and startups actually don't apply to grants. And that's because either they don't know about them. In most cases, they don't know about grants. Number two, they know about them, but they simply don't have the time to apply to them. And number three, they've never had the pleasure or the opportunity of winning a grant, so they're quite discouraged. Okay. Now, to help you out, I'm teaching you about grants. So that's number one. If you don't know what a small business grant is, then I'm going to teach you everything you need to know. Of course, this live stream, we're going to try to keep it under 30 minutes. Two, if you don't have the time, that's where you can hire grant writers like myself. I'm a US certified grant writer. So what we do is we use our creative writing skills and we search for opportunities and we submit grant applications alongside with proposals, letter of request, and all documentation necessary to help you win or increase your chances of winning for that opportunity. So that's what a grant writer is. We don't receive any percentages on the back end from your winnings. That is against our code of ethics. We actually get paid up front because of the time and efforts and creative writing skills it takes to help you win that opportunity. There's no 100% guarantees, but what we're doing is simply saving you time with submitting the applications. You might have in your mind, oh, well, why would I hire you when I can use ChatGPT or artificial intelligence? Well, The reason why you would still hire a grant writer is because it still takes you time to actually create the perfect prompt to put into AI so you can actually get that answer necessary that is going to align with the grant mission and help you increase your chances of approvals. The question is, do you know where to find the actual answer key for that particular grant? No, that's what a grant writer knows how to do. Secondly, there are also a lot of grants out here that do not want you to use artificial intelligence. How would you know that? You wouldn't, because you don't have time to look through the terms and conditions. So that's two. Okay. And three, you a lot of the times you might apply to a grant that you found on Instagram, on social media, but you are not 100% sure what your probability is like for that grant. And that is also why you should still hire a grant writer as well, simply because we know the chances that you're most likely rather going to win or not, based off of the grant program, based off of the recent winners, based off of if your business mission aligns with that grant mission. Okay. And so that brings me to number three, where people feel like, oh, I don't want to apply to small business grants. I have applied to small business grants once before and I never got approved to it. Let me help you out. Most of those business owners or entrepreneurs and startups who have applied to grants before, but they actually have never won a grant, is simply because they are not going for grants that align with their business mission. I'll give you an example. You may find a grant that is $10,000 for all, let's say, minority owned companies in the United States of America. It doesn't matter what business industry you're in. It also doesn't matter, if you have generated revenue or not. That grant is a nationwide grant that is for everyone who is based in the United States, as long as you're 18 years or older, and either you're starting a business or you already have one going. Okay. With those grant types, your competition pool is much greater. On average, that type of grant will get at least 2,000 applications, at least, versus going for a grant that is funded by your state governments, that requires you to have specific like eligibility requirements. So let's say you have to be a person that is into infrastructure development, and you might have to had already generated revenue for 100,000. That lessens your pool of competition, and it allows you to have a much greater chance at winning and a much greater chance at having access to that free funding, instead of going for those big nationwide grants that you see a lot of us talk about on social media. So the problem is that those people who are influencing you guys and making, saying things like, oh, I'm not going for grants, or a grant is a waste of time. Well, it's very important that you take in consideration that there's a few factors here. They're not going for high probability grants. They themselves have never won a grant before, so they're kind of salty about it. And also, last but not least, they probably won a grant, but they're, lying to you and discouraging you because they don't want any competition. Okay. I've seen it happen in my 11 years of doing this. Okay. So, any questions? So I do have one question. Good morning, everybody. One question says, after how many years you can get approved for a grant? So this question, to help you better answer this question, there are different types of grants out here that are like an annual grant opportunity. Okay. You can get a grant within the next 30 days. You can get a grant in 6 weeks, 6 to 10 weeks. Okay. You can get approved to it and then get funded. High ticket grants, which are grants that are like millions of dollars, $400,000 or better, right? Millions of dollars. Those grants, you can get approved for that particular program. And once you get the approval, they can fund you a specific amount every year for then up to the next 3 years. I've seen it happen. A lot of those grant types, you are like for medical research, medical clinics that are improving access to quality healthcare. They wouldn't be for businesses that are, let's say, that has nothing to do with community impact. All right. So even if you are like a food bank, if you are housing the homeless, if you are doing a group home specifically for DMV, so domestic violence victims. And if you're doing something like that, you don't really see grants for that will fund you every year for that. You would have to consistently apply every year, and explain to them what your program is already about and what the efforts you guys have already done. Okay, so that's how that works. So after how many years can you get approved for a grant? Also, this I'm trying to make sure I answer this question as best as I possibly can. After how many years can you get approved for a grant? When a lot of there's also a lot of grant programs that will tell you, if we already funded you and approved you for 2025, you cannot apply for 2026. You have to wait 2 years after in order for you to apply to the program again. Okay. Each grant has their own requirements, and each grant is different. So that's a really great question. Any other questions? I would love for you guys to drop in the chat about grants and any curiosities that you might have. Um, I'm always here for you. It's free information, and I want to make sure that you understand how this works. Okay, so that's that. So I'm going to bring up this $100,000 grant. And there was another one I think I found yesterday, but I have to double check and make sure it's a good one. So to give you guys a little bit more of what I've been doing, me and my clients, I have been working super hard. I'm always a diligent worker, but we're going for a lot of money, millions of dollars in grant funding right now. And it's such a pleasure to be able to be of service to business owners who are very patient, understanding, and who are willing to, just trust me through the process. I really do thank God for those client types, because, they are absolutely awesome. All right, so let's go over this grant. Two of them that I want to go over. There's a $250,000 grant that I want to go over really quick. So I'm going to bring that up. And then we're going to go over, and I actually applied to this one yesterday. So the application is quite it's not bad at all. And then we're going to go over this one. I'm going to share my screen, of course, so you guys don't worry. What is this one? $25,000. America's Startup is a national college company. Okay, so that's for college students, universal funding and grant application. Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to see what we have here. After how many years in the business? So there are some grants where you can go for startup opportunities. So even if you are a startup, you have already, and there's difference to this. There's different stages to business. You are only a startup if you actually started the business. What I mean by that is, if you have already registered your company with the state, so you got an INC, a LLC, or a sole proprietorship, then that's that. If you have your EIN number through the IRS, and also you have your business bank account and an internet presence. Those are the four major foundations that you need to have for your business in order to show that you are a startup. If you are allowing any of these four things to slow you down, friend, I'm going to ask you a serious question. Are you serious about doing this? You must prioritize this. Registering your company through the state costs you less than $200. An EIN number is free. It takes you less than 5 minutes to do. A business bank account, you can literally do that online. You don't even have to leave your house. An internet presence, with all of this AI out here, there are free artificial intelligence tools that you can use to create your business website. Once you purchase your domain through GoDaddy will go ahead and generate an AI web page for you, and you'll have you could publish it and use it for right now. If you're not tech savvy, time for you to get tech savvy, or hire someone who can do these things for you. That's the way to look at it. Welcome to entrepreneurship. We are in a digital age. There's no excuses. These four major foundational things make you a startup. I didn't say generate revenue. If you are a startup, there are grants for you. If you are you have all four of these things and you have already started generating revenue, let's say up to like $5,000, you're a small business. You're operating small business. Congratulations. You have, versus the two, a business that is generating revenue has more funding opportunities than a startup. People don't want to fund a business that's not generating revenue or showing traction. They just don't, because they are tired of, they don't want to give the grant funding or funding out to a entrepreneur who is not aligned with their business for real, who is not serious, who is not understanding of the importance of prioritizing their business even when life is lifing. These funders don't want to prioritize a business that does not show any traction, which means you don't show growth. I didn't say revenue, I just said growth. Okay, awesome. So you would have a lot more opportunities when you are a small business making at least $5,000 annually. Okay, but nevertheless, there is grants for startups. Okay, so awesome. Yeah, you guys keep dropping your questions in the chat. I love having a conversation and I love reassuring you. It's free information and I'm just giving you a full transparency outlook of how grants work truly. Okay, this is not a facade. I'm not trying to get you to sign up for a 5-day grant writing course. No, I can tell you all this stuff in 30 minutes. Okay, we don't have to do a 5-day course. I could tell you everything you need to know right now. If you want to have a much deeper conversation based off of what your business idea is, and you need somebody to strategize with you to help you get on the right path and also to prepare you for grant funding, because this is a funding type that you're interested in, instead of going for loans, lines of credit, and credit cards, then you are more than welcome to book a one-on-one $50 consultation with me. My consultation is still $50 and it's less than your usual grant writer or funding coach. Okay, simple, but you have to see the value in it. All right. Traction. You're going to see that question come up on grant applications. So let me tell you what that is, and then we'll go ahead and go over this $250,000 grant and then the 100K grant. Okay. Traction is when you are able to show growth in your business. So traction doesn't necessarily mean, like money or generating revenue. It's a thing where can you show stages, like the different stages that you have already went through in your business. For example, if you are starting your own childcare facility, physical brick and mortar, and your goals is to create an online schooling for it, like a summer school camp, but you also want it to be like a virtual school type of thing, right? So what stage are you right now, right? And what stages have you gone through? So a stage will technically not be doing the foundational things, which is the LLC, EIN number, business bank account, and website. That is not what that would be. Oh my gosh, my cousin's calling. One moment, my cousin's calling.
Good morning.
Good morning, honey bun, sweet cake.
I wanted to show you my new investment in my apartment.
Okay. Oh, so are you gonna invite me over? This is cute.
This, and then I got a new mirror.
This is
I
nice.
feel like the diamond mirror was so like little girlish first apartment-ish.
Yeah.
So
this is very classy. I like it.
So now we have
it gives modern, it gives chic.
I ordered some things to go up here.
This is nice.
Yes.
Oh, this is nice.
I just wanted to show you. I think I did.
I think you are doing a really great job in rearranging your atmosphere and the energy in your home.
Right? I think so too. Thank you for that. I don't burn this girl waffles.
What are you doing?
Nothing. Well, I didn't go to school today because I got a meeting with them at 12:30.
Oh, okay.
And school is closed tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
So she's just going to be home winging them.
Okay. Well, I'm here, just working.
You on bed rest, remember?
Okay.
Are you really on bed rest?
I'm not on bed rest. You diagnosed me and put me on bed rest,
No,
and
your
nobody.
mom.
I'm not on bed rest.
Your mom said that.
No, I'm not on bed rest. Me and this baby, we are active.
Your mom said that you need to feel.
No, okay, I'm not on bed rest. But
That's why
okay.
Roy don't say.
So, okay. Well, I'm not doing anything but working today. Of course, working every day.
Hmm?
I said I'm not doing nothing, just working every day. Ooh, great question.
I work. I'm in my bed every day.
Well, this is good. Well,
I will be working soon though, so I understand. They had emailed me and told me they were put our equipment off. I understand.
so you'll be starting soon. So just take the vacation.
Correct. I am.
Okay,
I'm
well,
taking a
this
vacation.
weekend, don't forget. I know our Chili's date, but I do want to still go to one of those like the Biggle spot or like Golden Corral. Like refunded the money from the last time we went where we was expecting to get breakfast, but they don't do breakfast during the week.
Okay.
So this weekend we could just hang out.
Do you want to hang out this weekend, Ruru? Do you want to hang out this weekend or you want to stay in the bed? Why you gotta ask all those questions? This is the yes. Oh no.
Hey, Aurora.
Look what Rora got. Look what I got, Rora.
I can't see you.
Hold on. How do I turn on camera?
Okay. Oh, you got her new little fishy tank.
She asked for a beta fish.
Oh,
Oh,
this is good.
The fish name is Taco in the Dark.
Taco in the dark. Hey, good morning, Aurora.
The fish name is Glow in the Dark.
Glow in the dark. Okay. Okay.
Look at them clothes in that bumper. You need to get that.
Girl, Aurora is always so comfortable. Like, look at her. She is just like her mom.
That's a good sign.
Okay, Aurora.
But I'm streaming the Aurora perfume collection. She's acting by the day, girl.
Yeah, this is cute.
It's great. Your breakfast is right there. I made you some waffles. I kind of burnt them a little bit.
But you have
your
breakfast. Okay, well, I'm gonna.
Okay, well.
Yeah, let me get to work. Yeah, we'll talk later.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. 4 minutes. Thank you guys so much for waiting. That was my cousin. I love my family so much. All right, so this is a really great question. How do farming grants work? So farming grants are quite different as well. Farming grants, you don't. There's like farming grants. First of all, are funded by the federal government, and so what the federal government does is that they give money out to your states, and you would apply for that farming grant program through your state. You can go through like the USDA, you know, um, the Department of Agriculture. There's a lot of grants there. Like I said, they're federally funded. They do require a lot of documentation. They want to know, where your land is located, how much you're requesting, what is the money going towards. So they want project plans and proposals. You do have to submit sometimes letters of request to actually apply to those farming grants. So, Kevin, this is a really great question. Farming grants do require a lot more paperwork. Also, it can be a 6 to 10 week turnaround time. So you can apply to you can submit a application and all of your documentation necessary for that farming grant. And let's say you are requesting $500,000. Well, then you have to give them like 6 weeks at least to review the information and then also to get you funded. This is the federal government. So it's not like a quick turnaround time. It doesn't work like a raffle. It doesn't work like, oh, okay, we just randomly pick out of the thing. No, it's not how it works. They really want to make sure they're vetting you, and that this money is actually going to go towards a cause that is going to be impactful. They want to know who you do business with. All right, you have a farm. Who are the local farmers markets that you are, you know, doing business with, right? So all of that has to be in a proposal. It's not, yeah, it's not like a quick thing, but it can happen. Good morning. Thank you so much for coming here. I'm so blessed to have you here. I'm Shelby. I'm a 71% successful grant writer. I've been winning millions of dollars in grants for 11 years. I travel the world and talk about small business grants and business grants in general. That is free money that you can get so that way you don't have to use a loan or anything like that. Um, and I win grants all the time. My 71% success writing rate, grant writing rate means that out of, let's say, 500 clients that I might service in a year, 71% of them get approved to at least one grant that I write for them. Okay. You guys, I will submit a grant for you for just $37, one grant. Okay, not a super hard grant, but one grant. So I do have that option. But if you want me to apply to more grants for you, then we would have to have a one-on-one conversation. Okay. But welcome to my channel. I've been dedicating 7 years of my life to do these live streams and to teach you guys about grants. I have hundreds of videos available for you at your access that you are more than welcome to educate yourself for free. Okay. So welcome and thank you so much for joining us this morning. Farming in the Hood, trying to teach the community how to grow food. So that is a state funded grant opportunity. Also, you can go through, you would have a better chance, Kevin, if you had a nonprofit too. Yep. If you have a 501c3 nonprofit, and let me know if you do or do not know what that is. I can tell you, ask questions. If you don't ask, you won't know, and you'll just be being the blind out here. Okay. Um, Being a 501c3 nonprofit would serve in your favor. You would have a higher chance at collecting donations, collaborations, as well as grant funding. Okay. When you want to do something like that. Awesome. But I was coming from a place of farming, as far as in like you actually, like, let's say your family left you land and your family has been farming for years and then you are now in charge of it. You have like acres of land somewhere. Because I have experience with getting grants for people who have actual huge farms. They do like farming, not something kind of smaller, which will be, like you said, in the hood. So I'm guessing if we're talking about professional terms, urban underserved area, it's called rural farming. Are you rural? Are you a okay? Farming, and that's what that is. Okay, urban farming, right? That's kind of what that is. Awesome. Okay, you're interested in doing transitional housing. Well, I have a few clients right now. We are going for millions of dollars for transitional housing. One of my clients, she actually was able to receive funding and she just got her first house. She's also doing collaborations. What I have been doing, she's actually in her late 60s. So this digital stuff, she's not really hip to it. She's based out of Chicago. She actually has her homes in in Cleveland, Ohio. So she's traveling back and forth every weekend. She's also working a full-time job where she is still providing, care for veterans. And she has been with me since January of this year. Her and her husband. And her husband is a veteran. And what she does is she's doing not necessarily transitional housing, but it's not transitional housing. So her housing is for veterans, especially veterans who have suffered from PTSD and may have a disability, things like that. And so she yeah, so right now, like, she is moving, she's flowing, and I'm not only her grant writer, but I'm also like coaching her through the entire process. And it's more than just coaching. I'm holding her hand and making sure she comprehends each and every step that she goes. I'm helping her strategize and ask specific, detailed, direct questions to all people that she is in talks to make sure that her actual business idea flows. I don't call myself a coach because a business coach just sounds and I'm just going to be completely honest, for the minority community, that's whether you're a black person of color or a woman entrepreneur, we are over coached. You know what I mean? Like there's too much coaching. There's too much coaching. There's too much coaching programs, too much coaching communities. We are over mentored, but not enough of us are actually getting out and having boots on the ground and walking you through it and holding your hand through the entire process. What makes me different is that I am a boots on the ground type of woman. I am absolutely intentional and serious about every step that you take. So when I pray to God and ask that God brings you guys to me as my clients, I ask God to make sure that you have the comprehension skills and that He convicts your heart into understanding that who I am, that God, the gifts that God have given me, I'm actually going to put the efforts in, and that you would not come to me as if like you're just talking, but you're ready to be about what you're talking about. Transitional housing is a really great um, it's a really great industry. I will say if you're going to be a for-profit, then there's definitely funding for you, whether you're going to be for-profit or nonprofit. Most transitional housing organizations are nonprofits, and that's because you get more funding through the government. You can get more high quality funding through the government and collaborations. It takes a lot of networking when you become either way, like whether you are a entrepreneur or organization leader, so 501c3 nonprofit leader, um, you still would have to do the necessary networking in order for you to make sure you connect yourself with people who, let's say, work at those places where they do placement for the ladies or the people that need transitional housing. You need to do networking to offer those resources and tools and education for those people so they can have job readiness, so they can build their personal credit, so they can have the necessary therapy and training, mental health training that they need to to be prepared for their next step in life, for a fresh start. And so there's funding available, and I think you should go for it. Of course, there's grants for it. Absolutely. You all will not go for so two things I'm going to say here, and then we'll get into it. Sorry, I'm just kind of like taking up so much of you guys' time. Do not limit yourself when you are going for grant funding to only look for grants specifically for transitional housing, for farming, for pressure washing, for hairstylists, and things of that nature. You have other grants that you can go for based off of you of the actual entrepreneur, like women entrepreneur grants, Black men entrepreneur grants, veteran entrepreneur grants, grants for persons with disabilities who are entrepreneurs, grants for if you live in a specific state or a specific zip code. You don't want to limit yourself. Go for all grant funding opportunities, and you are never wasting your time because even if you don't win the grand prize, you still receive perks and deals on the back end just from simply submitting a application. What does that look like? That means that even if you don't get the $150,000 grand prize, which I know that's ultimately what you're applying to, they would still, in most cases, give you mentorship, networking opportunities, and credits towards other platforms that you can use to help you build your system and help you market your business or your nonprofit. So you are never wasting your time when you are applying to grants. Put it in your daily routine to apply to at least one grant a day. If you're doing this all on your own and you don't have money to hire a grant writer, okay? There's a hotel that is abandoned that I like to acquire and provide housing for VAs, homeless, and people that cannot afford regular rent. This is awesome. Take your time, go through the necessary steps, inquire about that particular hotel, see if it's already owned by somebody and they're just keeping the hotel there until they get the necessary funding to tear it down and build a new apartment building. You need to inquire to let them to know who owns that particular property and what their intentions are for that particular property first before you start trying to bank on it. You understand? And then take it from there, one step at a time. Another idea is providing transitional housing that also provides CNA or LPN programs where while there. This is awesome as well. So yes, you can do that. And you can partner up with your local CNA and LPN programs that are in your state or in your local area. And you can tell them I have a transitional housing program, and these women that are here or these people that are here, I would like to offer them educational opportunities to help them have a specific license and certification to allow them to be able to have a job before they decide to leave this transitional housing program. That is collaboration and it takes networking. You have to see what their prices are like, how much it will cost. Are you going to do a fixed price of like annual price and like a certain amount of people that can go through the program? So you have to be in negotiations with that particular CNA and LPN program as well. So if you want to know more information, and you want to create a strategy together, we can always do that in a one-on-one consultation. Okay. I am so blessed to have the wisdom from God to be able to clearly comprehend exactly everybody's industry, what they're doing, and also to be able to strategize on the spot of the best like steps that you should take. It takes you to put in the effort. You can want to be an entrepreneur, or you can be an executionist, which is the E in entrepreneurship, and actually get to it. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at a grant really quick. Two grants that I want to go over. And then, of course, if you guys continue to have any questions, please feel free to drop any questions in the chat. Okay. I'm here for you. All right. So let's take a look at this grant. This is called the pilot grant. Okay. So I'm going to read through it and then we'll see if you qualify. Okay. If you qualify, please don't hesitate to apply to this grant. If you want me to apply to this grant for you, it's only $37. I will submit one grant for you for $37. If you want me to apply to both of these grants that I'm going to go over today, it's $37 each. Okay. So you're more than welcome to let me know. You can drop that in the chat and then I'll tell you how you can have access to that offer. All right, so Hello Alice and Pilot came together. Pilot is like QuickBooks, so it is a accounting system that you can use. Hello Alice is a nonprofit organization that offers funding opportunities, resources, and education for small business owners and entrepreneurs and startups. So they partner together to offer this $250,000 growth fund. Pilot is putting $250K directly into small businesses. One of 18 grants could fund your next hire, your next location, your next year, and we're awarding one $50,000 grand prize. Two people will get $25,000 each, or 15 business owners will get $10,000 grants. Okay. Every winner also gets 1 year of free bookkeeping. So you have by March 31st to submit this application, which is within the next 5 days. Okay. So it says, what can you use this grant money for? One thing stands between you and your next move, and that's capital. So that is ultimately what this is for. Most cases, most business owners within their first 2 years, they fail because they have a lack of. You've heard this so many times on social media. You know it. I know you said it in your mind. It says, we've spent 10 years watching small businesses grow and watching growth stall when the money runs out at the wrong moment. The Pilot Small Business Growth Fund exists because the right support at the right time changes everything. So you can invest into so many different areas, key areas to help you grow, stock up on inventory, buy new equipment, expand your team, improve margins, open a new location, start marketing seriously. So this is how you would apply. The program is a partnership between Pilot and Hello Alice, and it's open to all United States-based businesses that make anywhere between at least $5,000 up to $5 million in 2025. To apply, you got to be 18 years or older. All right. The application is 10 minutes. Honestly, it took me less than 10 minutes, but there you go. You must share a video. All right, select finalists will be asked to send a short video. So they want to see your work. They want to see what are you building. They want to see what your product and service is. They want to see like why did you start your business? They want to meet you as the entrepreneur. And then you receive the deposit in your business bank account. All right. Simply click on apply and it'll take you directly to the application itself. Like I said, this is a 10-minute application, okay? And then it tells you more about what Pilot is. Like I said, it's a bookkeeping site. To give you a little bit more about who's eligible, remember you have to be based in the United States, have to be 18 years or older, and you have to have made profit in 2025 from at least $5,000 up to $5 million. Okay, in 2025, you cannot be an MLM, so that's a multi-level marketing business, and you can't be like a family member of anybody who actually is currently or recently employed by Pilot. So that's how that works. Okay, you can learn more about more people that they collaborate with on this website, and you definitely want to apply as soon as possible. Okay, so if you qualify and you made at least $5,000 in 2025, this will be a really great grant opportunity for you. Okay, so let me see if I can actually go through the application itself. I remember one time I tried to log in and it didn't let me do it. So let's see if it'll let me do it. The application does ask a series of questions. I don't think it's still letting me log in, you guys. I don't know what that is all about. Let me see. No. No, let's see. All right, so if you never created a Hello Alice account, this is how you would do it. You're watching me do it in real time. So. All right, let's see. Yeah, it keeps saying unable to process, which is weird. It keeps saying that for me. I don't know why, why that is for me. Let's see. I'm going to use a client login, and I'll just kind of show you what that looks like. Okay, so we're going to log in using one of my clients login. How about that? So that way you guys can at least see the application itself. Okay, and maybe you can kind of see my work and see like what my answers look like as well. Okay, so I want to really show you what this looks like. I want to show you what it looks like. Okay. Oh, you guys, we're not even on the website. Hold on 1 second. I'm on another screen really quick. Trying to log in. All right, so and I see you guys' questions, so bear with me, okay? So this is where when you click on apply, okay, you're going to come here to Hello Alice and you're going to create a login if you don't have one, or you will log in, okay? So let me get to that Pilot. They have a few open right now. Hold on, let me see. The fall cash flow readiness. Oh, we need to see about that. Hello Alice. Okay, 50K grant. So this is it. Let's go through this one. Now I've already submitted this application. Just let you know. Yeah, okay, but we're just going to go through it really quick. So the first half asks you about what's your business name, website. If you don't have a website, you can write NA, business Facebook page, all that good stuff. So the general information, and then, the address. Then it asks you to describe your products and services. So you need to do that as well. I wrote this grant for a print pack and ship company that is based in a rural area in Florida, in Belgrade, Florida, which is one of the most poorest cities in the state of Florida. And so, yeah, they ask you in question 20, how would you describe your current stage of business traction? So, what does that look like? Is it soft traction? You got social media following, whatever have you. You just click all that apply. Then they ask you to please describe how your business is gaining traction. This is why I said, this is why I said you need to be having traction, because not just grant funders, but funders in general, loan officers, investment capital, even when you're doing collaborations with people and you're not even asking for funding, they want to know what your traction is. So, what that looks like is you need to include specific metrics, milestones, customer growth, partnerships, revenue growth, or other indicators that show your business is gaining momentum and market validation. To give you the most direct answer of what that looks like, explain to them start to finish, start from where you started and where you are. How did you get to where you are right now? Did you order samples and give out free samples and receive and collect feedback? What system did you use to collect feedback? Was it Google? Was it your Google business profile where people can go in there and rate you? Was it Yelp? Was it a separate system that you use? Have you collected that data and also decided to go back to the drawing board and increase the quality of your product? By you going back to the drawing board, who have you been in communications with or have you did partnerships with so you can increase the quality of your product? Okay, so let me give you another example. If you are doing of a service, have you actually done this service for at least 5 people for free? They have actually seen results, and did you collect that feedback? Are you building an email list already? Are you building a social media following and getting people engaged and interested in the services that you offer? What is your business model type, and what does your how are you working towards that? Has anyone actually signed up? At least 1 to 5 people actually signed up for your services, and how much did you generate in revenue? With you helping out, let's say about 20 people, out of 20 people, how many of those people actually came back or have actually stated that they are in need of a product like this? So you can say 5 out of 20 people has came back and needed this product and has actually purchased this product. That's metrics, that's customer growth, that's partnership, that's revenue growth. And milestones can be you're in your first stages. You plan to do, let's say, for example, with transitional housing, with our nice young lady who's with us with transitional housing, you said that you want to do a CNA LPN program. Well, what is the milestone to that? You can say by August 2026, I want to have partnered with a local CNA and LPN certifying program that would offer their education and certification licenses to about 50 or 100 of my people that go through my transitional housing program. I want to have that partnership done. So that's a milestone that you actually want to reach. Have you reached that milestone? Let's say in the summer you want to enroll five single families, okay, into your transitional housing program. So your milestones will be: first, you're getting the place, you got the place, you're good to go. Second, you have officially reached the milestone where you got 5 single families into your transitional housing. The next milestone, you want to get that partnership with a CNA LPN certification company. And so when you have reached those milestones, you need to explain that in this answer. That's what that means. I hope that really helped you guys understand. More questions that they have: who are your main competitors? What gives you a competitive advantage? What makes you different from the people that you're competing against? Um, this is where they're going to learn more about your business challenges. So just explain that and how much you're requesting. Elaborate on your biggest obstacle. That shouldn't be hard at all. Don't say anything like funding. You will just like say more about like how you plan to show more compassion. So how you plan to be able to be impactful to your community that you're serving. The most important part. So they want to know. like how the funding, tell us about you and funding your company. So what founding your company? So what motivated you to start your company, right? Why did you want to become an entrepreneur? What professional or lived experiences or expertise do you have in that area or company that operates? Okay. How could professional support in tax preparation, bookkeeping, and payroll improve the way you run your business? This is quite general, but yeah, if you don't have that, explain how that can help you out. We want to hear what makes you proud of your business. So, what's your biggest accomplishment to you? Okay. Are you doing a product or service? Tell us more about how you'll use the grant and its importance to your business. And then a little bit what else you would like them to know. This is optional, it doesn't have a red star. And then, they want to know about you, who you are, and then that wraps up the actual grant application itself. Okay. And you would just simply hit submit. That's how that works. Okay. So that is this grant. Share this. Okay. That is this grant. That application we just went over is this $250,000 grant. Well, 50K grand prize winning grant that we just went over. Okay. Remember, you have to have made at least $5,000. All right. So, any questions? Any questions about what I just went over? Let me see. You guys are in the chat. I've been doing homework, so I have the basics down. And yes, most definitely would like your help. Okay, I'm more than happy. Good stuff. I was the director of a homeless shelter, but the red tape for funding drove crazy. I really love how the chat has some of the same ideas. Thanks for your information. My pleasure. When we're talking about red taping, experiencing, discrimination when it comes down to funding, this is where networking and collaboration really would come into play. Because yes, there is no diverse equity inclusion initiatives anymore during this political time. So it's very important that you suit up, get cleaned up, go out and speak to the millionaires that are in your local area, especially those who share the same mission and vision as yourself, and really pitch to them. And pitching is explaining to them why this is needed in this particular area and how you're trying to help. It takes a lot of networking. But it's not impossible. Okay. God works miracles. Nothing impossible there's nothing impossible. What God cannot do does not exist. Okay. Do you have your business registered with EIN correct before obtaining any grant? Yeah. You're not a business. This is a great question. Yeah, this is a really great question. Don't you need to have your business registered and an EIN in place before applying to grants? Yes. So we'll change our grammar, but yes, okay. You need to have your business registered before you decide to go for grant funding because you're not a business. You're not a business. You're not a startup. You're just in your idea phases. I know a lot of people think that, oh, I'm a startup, but you have not registered your company through the state, which means you don't have an INC, sole proprietorship, or an LLC. You don't have an EIN number, business bank account, or an internet presence. If you don't have those things, you are technically not a startup. You are just a person with an idea. Okay? That's how that works. So, yes, they will not fund you if you do not have a business bank account. You cannot get a business bank account without having an EIN or a registration through your state. Okay? Important for you to know that. Great question. Awesome. Okay, so this is really great. Good morning, Tamala. Thanks so much for being here. This is great. Any other questions? You're welcome. Any other questions, you guys? Sure. Okay, so that grant I just went over, I'll go ahead and put the link in the chat. You're more than welcome, okay, to go ahead and apply to this grant yourself. If you qualify, you must have already made at least $5,000 up to $5 million. At least $5,000. Your business must have generated revenue in 2025 in order for you to qualify for this grant. Okay, so you can visit pilot.com and you can apply to that grant opportunity. Okay. All right, cool. All right, so let's move on to the $100,000 grant that you guys are really interested in. This is for all blue collar businesses through Jobber. Jobber is actually a grant funding program. They're a funding program that really does help business owners, have access to funding, especially grants. So I really do like Jobber. Okay, Jobber grants. Grants of up to $100,000 recognizing blue collar excellence. We've committed an additional $1 million to blue collar businesses looking to grow to the next level or innovate on how services are delivered. So you can simply apply now. They've also partnered with Damon John from Shark Tank, who is an excellent entrepreneur and investor. How it works is you get grants up to $100,000 to support your growth stages and goals. You get an all inclusive paid in person retreat. And you also get time with Damon John from Shark Tank. So you get to ask him questions and learn more. 5 minutes to apply. So it's a 5 minute application. And this application is open until June 11th. All right. So phase one, there's different phases to this application, so I'll get to that in just a minute. The grand prize is 100K. The second prize is 50K. Third prize is 25K, and 10,000 for the fourth prize winner. Okay, so that's how it works. I believe they're choosing 9 winners. You can learn more about the previous winners, okay? In a recent conversation, or like I think the other day, we went over Mikhail Messilon's LLC. We actually went through his website to see, how did he win, right? And so when you go through the past winners, you go through their websites, it truly reassures you on the reasons for why these people won because they are serious. You can see the intentionality in their branding and how they set themselves up and how they truly explain who they are on their website so you don't have to second guess whether or not their services that they offer are of quality or are very impactful. Okay, takes 5 minutes to apply. You have by June 11th. This is the program timeline. So the phase one applications is a 5 minute application by June 11th, June 17th through the 24th. Phase two applications goes out. You have to be invited to apply. You have to be eligible to apply. Okay. So after them taking a look at the phase one applications, they will send you an email and let you know and invite you to apply to phase two. Phase two, they're going to ask for business plans. They want to know your leadership style and your community impact. Okay. Early June, that's when they're going to be doing their judging, and they're actually going to be looking at your online presence. So yeah, you want to have a website for this. Yeah, you want to have social media. Yeah, you want to have already posted. Okay. Mid-July, finalists will be contacted to complete the final round of questions. August 2026 is when they're going to announce 9 grant recipients and spotlight their stories on the community, just like how they did Messy Lawns. Okay. So, what is a blue collar business? A blue collar business is a home service business that provides one time or reoccurring install, repair, maintenance, or mobile services to clients at a residential or commercial property. Okay, so that can be landscaping, residential and commercial cleaning, contracting, painting, HVAC, plumbing, pool maintenance, mobile car detailing, and more. All right. If you are a person that creates goods or offers services and from your home office, you do not qualify. All right, you don't qualify. This is not for you. If you have a physical brick and mortar location, this is not for you as well. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, all these other frequently asked questions you guys can answer. As long as you are based in the United States and you're 18 years or older, you can pretty much qualify. You qualify for this. So even if you are just starting your pressure washing business, it seems that you can actually apply to this grant. They have a list of more blue collar business types here to reassure you. All right. If you're just starting your cleaning business, flooring business, elevator service care, lawn care service, locksmith business, stuff like that, then and you haven't generated revenue yet, but you are 18 years or older and you are based in the United States, you qualify for this grant. Okay. So yeah, 9 grants up to 100K. This is really good. You can always scroll all the way down to the bottom and you see this small hyperlink. This is the Jobber Grants competition rules. You can click there and it's going to give you key dates, eligibility requirements, And it's also going to tell you exactly how many awards they're giving out. Five businesses will get 10K each, two will get 25K, one grand prize, sorry, one person of 50K, and sorry, one grand prize of 100,000. Okay. You can also take a look at exactly how they are going to grade you on these applications. So it says number 7, method of selecting grant recipients. You want to read this information because this lets you know their judging criteria and how they are actually going to be choosing the best winners. Okay, the best 10 businesses. Or sorry, 9 businesses that have the opportunity to not only win the money, but have a all paid expenses retreat and get to meet Damon John and have that networking opportunity. Me, let me tell y'all something. If I had this opportunity, if I was a blue collar business and I had a cleaning business, and God, I wish I did, and I apply to this grant, the way I would be trying to get Damon John to invest in my company would be so serious. He's a shark. He's a sharker. He's you know what I mean? He's a shark tank. This is what he do. He invests in businesses. If I had a roofing, I remember I had a client or whatever. I wonder how he's doing. He does roofing, right? He's not my client anymore, but he does roofing, and he wanted to create it like a pillow, specifically for people who do roofing, right? And so, because he said that these roofers they were using like pillows from couches, like old couches and stuff. So he said he wanted to create something that's very good on the knees. Okay. And hey, good morning, Daves. And and I'm like, this would be the perfect grant for him. A potential that winning $100,000 or at least $10,000 for free, but you get an all paid expenses trip retreat to go meet Damon John, and you can pitch to him and say, and tell him about this pillow. Use the $10,000 to get your prototype. Bring that prototype with you on the retreat. Show Damon John how this works, and there go your Shark Tank and pitch right there. If you have the mindset and you're saying to yourself, yeah, but I'm not ready for that. That's not my type of thing. I'm not trying to do that, or whatever the case may be, then it's not for you. Whenever you are ready for that, or if you decide you want to go for investment capital, then that's something you can go for. Investment capital is something that I believe the Black community is very slept on. I think the Black community just has a challenge with understanding exactly how investment capital works. Investment capital is one of, personally for me, from what I've been able to see through Pinky Cole, through Damon John, through so many different examples of these, like, you know, rich Black entrepreneurs, is that it ain't nothing wrong with getting investment capital. Matter of fact, it actually serves in your favor in your beginning phases. You understand? You get the money, so which means you always have a partner that has more than enough of millions of dollars to invest and consistently invest into your company. So all this hassle that you're going through with applying to grants, all this hassle that you're going through with applying to loans and taking out these loans and stuff, you got a partner that owns a percentage of your company that you're sharing that revenue with. Yes, granted, but they want to see your business do great because the more money you make, the more money they make. It's important for you to understand the what that looks like when you're saying that you are going to give somebody 10% of your business. I also learned that in the Black community, we like to start businesses with our family, friends, and coworkers, and you want to give everybody 10% of the pot. No. Do you know how much value 10% is? If your company makes, just general numbers, if you make $1 million in a year, you have to share 10% with people who are not even putting the work in for real, who don't even come with who not even coming with more money to invest in, and who is not also coming with any type of networking opportunities to help you grow. That's what that looks like. So when you got a best friend that y'all been friends for 20 years, friend, No. Okay? When we're talking about business, this is the game of Monopoly. May the best man win at this game. Giving out 10% of your company is absolutely insane. And I'm going to tell you, that's what that looks like. If you make $1 million in a year, that 10% that you said you were going to give your boyfriend, who is now your ex-boyfriend, that you already did a partnership agreement with, that is on your LLC, or that is on your INC paperwork. So you have no choice but to give that person 10% because you were so in love at the time. Or y'all were like the best of friends at the time. That 10% that you're going to give them out of $1 million that you made overnight from a TikTok shop, if you don't give that to them, you are in trouble because you have paperwork. There's laws. They're going to sue you. And you'll probably come out having to not only give them the money, but then also having to pay the lawyer fees too to go through that whole entire process. Saying that you're going to give your family, friends, and coworkers, and the person that you're in a temporary relationship with, or you're in a relationship with, but you guys are not like official, like you're not married. You know what I mean? And you're saying, okay, you can have 10% of my company, 40% of my company, 30%, 50%, we can go 50-50, whatever. Please educate yourself first before you decide to do that. Now, for me, let me explain to you what this looks like for me. You guys know Grantfully. If you don't know what Grantfully is my platform, my tech development, my SaaS tech development. SaaS is an acronym that stands for service, software as a service. Okay. So I am building, pretty much I've already built, it's done. I have built a SaaS platform where you can go and search for grants, and you can have somebody submit a grant for you for just $30 a grant. It's really cool. I am going for investment capital, millions of dollars. Okay? Because not only is it about grants, the ultimate goal is to make this a universal funding tool for all businesses and nonprofits. A one-stop shop. You get 24-hour customer service, and it's more than just an AI chat. Of course, you get resources and webinars we'll do monthly, all that good stuff, right? So you get to join a community where you can ask questions, learn about like strategies and all this good stuff, right? But ultimately, Grantfully is a company that that is that universal funding tool, mainly starting with grants, because majority of you guys come to me about grants. What does that look like for me when I'm going for investment capital? I have to have a pitch video. I got to show them what this thing looks like. I have already invested my money into this. I don't have a job. I don't have a job. So the income that I pray God for, that I rely 100% on God for, because I don't have a job. Okay. The income that I rely 100% and put all of my faith and trust into God, every income that comes in, I prioritize a piece of that to go towards my development. And then, of course, other things for food and goes towards whatever bill I have to pay. But I still prioritize this solution because I know that it's something that's going to be revolutionary. It's going to be really great for grant funders. And so I have to show them what it looks like. So I've already invested into it. So I do have traction. I built an email list. So you guys know how I say visit grantfully.org and you can get a free grant writing checklist. If you haven't already, you can actually visit grantfully.org. And I have a grant writing checklist that shows you all the things you need to have before you decide to actually go for grants. I'm offering that entire spreadsheet for free that you can download. When you sign up and you put your email in there and you answer the small 5-question survey, I'm collecting data. I'm giving you something for free for it though, but I'm collecting data. You're getting what you're signing up for. I'm getting what I need for Grantfully for investment capital. I have over 1,000 business owners and entrepreneurs. that have done this survey and that have downloaded this my free grant writing checklist, and that have said in the survey that they are willing to pay at least $30 up to $100 per grant application submission, that they would love to have this particular platform. I've already done the work. I'm only 6 months in. Now, I'm able to show receipts of how much it cost me to do the development for this actual SaaS platform, the UI UX, the front end, the back end, and all of that good stuff. I have a team of developers. I have two grant writers that I have been training that understand grant writing, and they already have experience with grant writing, but I'm showing them my ropes because I want them to use my strategies. So that way you guys have a great chance at winning. I also have a chief marketing officer. So I have a board of directors. I have a team that I can show that actually care. I have three developers, two grant writers, a chief marketing officer, and then myself. So there's already like a team of 6 of us. That's in my pitch deck as well. Everything that I'm telling you are the necessary steps that I had to do in order to go for not only grant funding, but also to go for investment capital too. What does the conversation look like when I get in the room with an investor? I tell them I tell them all about the platform, how revolutionary it is, how it makes me different, what makes me different from Hello Skip, what makes me different from Hello Alice, what makes me different from your general grant writer that you're most likely following on Instagram because she looks really good or whatever, he or she looks good and you just like the information that they're dropping. You're really a fan of them. So I'm not a person that you would be a fan of generally. I'm just a person that you would actually trust that I'm giving you the right direction and the right information. So that is what makes me different from them. So I have to explain that. I also tell them how much money I'm looking for, $2 million. What that $2 million will go into towards. I want $2 million for less than 7%. Doing the necessary calculations, that means I'm expected to make anywhere between $6 to $10 million annually. You understand? That is what that conversation looks like. When you are pitching, your pitch, there's a difference between an elevator pitch, you probably heard that before, and then an actual pitch. Elevator pitch is when you have 60 seconds to grasp that person's attention. Hi, my name is Shelby. I'm a 71% successful grant writer. I've been writing grants for 11 years and I have built a SaaS platform where you can actually find grants and also have someone submit a grant for you for just $30. And you have 24-hour support, resources, and education to teach you more about funding opportunities that 84% of small business owners and startups don't even know about, have the time to submit, or they simply just haven't had the experience of winning. My platform is to basically give you convenience of finding these opportunities. So we have AI integrated to help you narrow down to the best high probability grants that will help you give a great chance or align your business mission with that grant mission and give you a great chance at winning. In addition to that, if you are an entrepreneur who simply does not have the necessary time to submit the grant applications, which majority of entrepreneurs don't because they're operating their business, then what we would do is for just $30, we would submit a grant application. Just with one click, you can click on the grant you're interested in, add it to your cart, go ahead and make the payment of $30, and you can see in your own client dashboard exactly the status or track the status of us submitting the grant. If you have any additional questions about the grant or any additional documents needed necessary to submit the grant application, that communication is done in the client portal, in your client dashboard. We are taking out the hassle and the time of actually searching and applying to grants. And we're doing it all at an affordable rate. Most grant writers charge anywhere between $900 to $1,000 to submit at least 3 grants. We're doing it for the most affordable price, taken in consideration for all startups and small business owners who are looking for funding to help keep their businesses afloat. That 60 seconds, and let's say that was more than 60 seconds, but I would say that in a shorter thing. You have questions, don't you? You know, Okay, so who is your ultimate target audience? Easy. Entrepreneurs, startups, and small business owners. It's more like you want to know more questions. I want to see what the platform looks like. Can you show us? Sure. I already have demos. I can walk you through it right now. We're actually in a beta testing. So I can actually sign you up right now. So you can have access to it and see what it looks like. I can also show you what our administration dashboard looks like, how they communicate with our clients, and what their daily operations are looking like. When you are a person who works for Grantfully, you come in, you check in, you clock in online, and as well as you sit down and you take a look at your tasks that you have for today. Most likely, you will open up your dashboard, seeing that there's a lot of communication and questions that people have. So you can go ahead and start communicating and answering those questions. And actually, you can call out using our platform as well to make sure that that customer who has a question gets the necessary support that they truly deserve. And it's all free. That's free support. To search for the grant is free. You can pay a monthly subscription, which is cheaper than grantwatch.com. You know what I mean? Like $20 a month. So you can have access to the grant information, so the actual grant link and all that good stuff. Instead of paying $50 a month, like Grant Watch. And you get more grants than Hello Skip, because Hello Skip has a dashboard where it's just only 5 to 9 grants or up to 30 grants. Whereas this is an entire artificial intelligence database that searches the internet on a daily basis, every hour on the hour. We have created a bot to do that. When you wouldn't have known that in my elevator pitch. In my elevator pitch, I'm just generally telling you what we do, who we are, and all that good stuff. But if you, the whole purpose of the elevator pitch is to get someone really, that investor or that funder, really interested in just knowing more about what you have. And so you want them to ask questions. When they ask questions, now you're in the pitching phase, full on pitching. Now you're showing them what you got going on. If I was in front of Damon John, I'm gonna give it a try. I'm going to give it a try. Funding is different. Funding has to grow along with the digital times too. AI can't sit up here and give you all the funding direction. ChatGPT can't do that. It can tell you and give you direction of like where to go. Like, oh, okay, you can apply to this grant or you can apply to this place, but it's not really giving you that necessarily that personal support that you need. I can collaborate with people like NerdWallet, Investopia, Hello Skip, all these other people that y'all follow on social media. Fearless Fund, I Fund Women, Her Genius. All of those people and those funders, they would use my platform to post their grants. So I have just went big on big, just with my SaaS platform. And going to an investment opportunity, I'm not going to give you guys 10%. Because 10% of $10 million annually, I don't want to give you that. I got payroll. I want to hire more people. I want to give that money out to the community that's actually signing up. That's where my mind is. So I'm only having this conversation with you guys because I understand that the minority community, and that's just not Black community, but that's women entrepreneurs and persons of color, you need to understand what you are getting yourself into when you tell your boyfriend, girlfriend at the time, your friends, coworkers, and your siblings or your family members that you are going to give them 10% of the company just because you want to be nice. Business is not a nice, this is a game. This is like a game this is Monopoly. And when you play Monopoly with your family, it's not, it ain't nothing, it ain't no hard feelings. It's just business. You have to think of it and look at it from that standpoint. What comments or questions do you guys have? I have an EIN, but not an LLC yet. Can I still apply? No. Nope. I'm not even going to set you up like that. No. Get your company registered. It's not registered through the state. You're still in the idea phases until you have register through the state, have your EIN, open up a business bank account, and have a internet presence, you are still not a startup. So you just have one out of the three. You got three more to go, friend. Keep pushing. Human trade, if you ask me, thank you in advance. My pleasure. The fact that your team does work for us is amazing. Thank you. Oh, it's my pleasure. All glory be to God, honestly. How long do you need to have your business and EIN registered before you can apply to grants? Not long. There are some grants that do require you to be in business for at least 2 years. So you just have to look at that grant qualifications. Okay, so each grant has their own qualifications, and they let you know. What you need to have in order to qualify. Okay, so like the last grant we just took a look at, the $250,000 one with Hello Alice, you had to have generated revenue at least $5,000 in 2025. You could have started your business in November or December and made 5K in the first 30 days. You qualify. You could have started in January 2025 and made 5,000. You qualify, okay? But then there's some grants depending on how much funding you're going for. So because you are in you want to do something like transitional housing, let's say you're going for $1 million. Well, what that looks like for you is you do have to be established, or you would have to collaborate with an established nonprofit, because they're not going to give you $1 million to start this thing. No, they want to see, you said that you care about these people. Let's see you put the effort in. Show us what you're going to do. And so what they want to see is you actually invest your time, your effort, your networking expertise, your money into this. And then they will come after seeing what you have done, how far you have gone, the milestones you have reached. Then they would actually give you the free funding that you're requesting. So let's say you have already acquired the hotel, you've inquired about it, you have you saved your money, or you sold assets, and you have given them a down payment. You're starting to do some renovating, right? And that you can use some of this money for renovation. You can use some of this money to start getting, to help with other things, right? Then that makes sense to start going for $1 million in grant funding. In addition to that, you need to not 100% rely on grant funding. You actually also want to rely on other collaborations. When you're doing something like transitional housing or something that is very community impactful, collaborate with well-established nonprofits. Collaborate with other like entrepreneurs who share the same vision. It makes sense. And you know what? Matter of fact, my client who owns the two medical clinics in Pahokee, Florida, in Belle Glade, pretty much. We are going for $3 million in funding. Now, one grant that we're going for, because he has two clinics, right? He offers affordable healthcare to the insured or uninsured. So whether you have insurance or you don't, you can still go to his clinic. And what his ultimate mission is and purpose is to make sure that he helps you with quality preventative care, so you don't have to keep racking up emergency care fees. Because what happens is a lot of people, they miss out on their appointments, or they can't go to doctor's appointments, they can't go to quality doctors simply because they are not insured, or their insurance don't pay for it, or their insurance pays for it, but they don't have the $300 copay that they need to pay. So what he does is he still offers that that quality care that you need, whether or not you have insurance or not, or you can afford that copay. And so his thing is, instead of you just going directly to the emergency room and you keep racking up these emergency room medical fees, which goes on your credit eventually, then he's offering, he wants to be able to continue to offer what he does. Now, this is what this looks like. Now, each location, we are going for 1.5 million. The state of Florida got $200 million to be able to give out to clinics like my client. That $200 million is split up amongst the state of Florida. You guys know the state of Florida is big. It's like a big, it's like a big F. That's kind of what it looks like. So you have North Florida, which is like Jacksonville, Tallahassee, all of that in the north. You have Central Florida, which is like Tampa, Orlando, anywhere in between, Lakeland, Polk County. Then you have like Southeast and Southwest. Okay. And then the South, which would be like Miami-Dade County, all that beyond. Okay. Key West. And so that's how they split it up. For where he is, which is Palm Beach County, which is the Southeast, he they only receive about like 20 million. All right. So their budget is 20 million. He is going for 1.5 million for one place and 1.5 million for another place. Okay. The only way after doing as the grant writer, the efforts I have put in is I have signed up and joined the webinars to learn more about this grant. This is called the Rural Health Transformation Program. It's funded by the federal government to see where they are with funding, how long it takes for us to get a response, what documentations are necessary. I stayed on a 1 hour Zoom call to learn more about this opportunity. My client also took the necessary step to go to the physical town hall that they had located in Palm Beach County so he can ask questions. We've been asking questions, but we can't get direct answers, which is quite annoying. But ultimately, for this grant, what I want you to understand regarding collaboration, this grant requires you to collaborate. You have to collaborate with another, let's say, hospital, school, so it can be a university like University of Miami Medicine, a hospital group, or another clinic or private practice. You have to collaborate in order for you to be able to be considered for this type of funding. We're going for $1.5 million for one grant. We're asking for 1.5 million. That's how much we're asking for. How long has he been in business? 30 years. It's not because he's been in business for 30 years, so don't think about it like that. I'm just letting you know that 30 years and he hasn't received a grant. He received like COVID relief funds, but nothing like what we're doing. This is his first time hiring a grant writer. This is his first experience. And I am making sure that his experience with me is so good. Because I don't want him to be one of those entrepreneurs that is like, like I don't want him to like feel like, oh, like grants is a waste of time. No, it's not. And he sees other businesses that are actually winning grants. He also understands that it could be quite political too when we talk about state and local funding. That's a higher level grant conversation that we can have for another day. But I just wanted you to see that sometimes it does take collaboration for you to be able to have access to high ticket funding. Okay. Good morning. Do you suggest to pay for a good morning. Do you suggest to pay for a grant application and consultation at one time or wait after the consultation? Um, are you talking about with me? I'm confused. So with me, so are you asking to pay for like the $37 thing? I have clients where they pay the $37 and they also book the consultation. So you're more than welcome to do that. All right. It doesn't have to be one or the other. That is a total of $87, still less than $100. Okay. So you can book a consultation with me, especially if you truly want to have a conversation with me about your business type and what we're doing and to make sure you're good for grants. And then you can also pay the $37 as well at the same time. And a lot of the times what happens is, let's say you pay the $37 today, and then you also pay the $50 for the consultation, and then you schedule our consultation, let's say for Monday. Well, I will email you and I'll say, hey, I will ask you, do you want me to submit the application while we're on the Zoom call? Do you want to see how I write my answers and how I show my work? I don't use AI, so we're going to do this thing. We can do this thing together. And I don't have any like strategies to show you. It's just all off of the wisdom that God has given me in my experience. So you get a chance to see what I do in a Zoom call. So it's more than you're more than welcome to do that. Okay. I like the idea. You are personal and take time to provide information. I need a consultation waiting for a new card in the mail. I totally understand. My grandparents used to work there. Okay. Uh oh, you used to live there or work in that area. Okay, I understand. In that area. Okay, I understand. I totally understand. Yeah, that's what you need. Okay, I'll be more than happy to be here for you to show you. You can always hire me to apply to 30 grants for you. That it does cost you much, much, much more money. It does. It's not $37. The $37 offer is, let me tell you what that looks like. I'm fully transparent. When you pay $37, that is called the Grantfully Special. Remember, I was talking about Grantfully earlier, the platform that I created? When you pay $37 for me to submit a grant for you, guess what? That goes through the Grantfully Stripe payment processor. So that goes through the Grantfully Stripe account, and then it goes into the Grantfully business bank account. What does that show? It shows traction. It shows that you guys are actually interested in paying $30 at least, right, for someone to submit a grant application for you, which is why the Grantfully platform is needed, which is why I need $2 million to launch it worldwide. You see how that works? Awesome. It's yours. Got goosebumps as confirmation. See? That's how that works. You see? In real time, I have a startup. In real time, I have a startup that has generated less than $5,000. And I'm showing you in real time. What am I doing to use? How am I? I don't even have 100 people in this live stream. People are coming in and out of this live stream. It's about 14, 15, 10 people, 5 people that come in here. And I still get on here each and every day, or a majority of the week, right? When I can, at least 3 times a week, let's say. And I get on here for an hour, sometimes more than an hour. And I don't care how many people come in here. I don't care if it's 1,000 people in here. God is going to bring the people that is supposed to be here. And as long as I'm giving value and I'm answering your questions, you guys see the value in what we're doing. And then we take it from there. I'm not worried about, oh, I don't have 1,000 people, or, oh, there's not a lot of people. No, I'm showing you in real time how I am building a SaaS platform, a software as a service platform. And you are on this journey with me. Now, when it becomes something really huge, really soon, you're going to be like, oh, I know this. I know these people. I know this girl. She's on YouTube. And it's not even 2% of y'all out of the 33 million small business. I know how many business owners there are in the United States. It's 33 million. I do my research. Out of the 33 million, 84% don't go for grant funding. And the top 3 reasons is because they don't know about it, or they just don't have the time, or they're discouraged. I've done my research because I needed to reassure myself of what I was getting myself into. Okay, cool. 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 You're a true entrepreneur and researcher. All glory be to God. I am blessed to be here. Blessed to be here. Blessed to be here. All right, any other last minute questions before I let you guys go? We're going to end this live stream. I've been on here for a little minute, an hour and 30 minutes, 35 minutes to be exact. Any other like last minute questions, remarks? We went over a $250,000 grant. We went over $100,000. So yeah, I hope that this was a satisfying live stream that you need to know. You can always join me tomorrow. I'll be back on here tomorrow by 8 a.m. Tomorrow's Friday. Hope you guys are having a great time, or have a beautiful, blessed Friday. So I'll give you like 1 minute to drop your questions or concerns in the chat. And then I am going to get to my work that I have to do today. I'm going back to watch Awesome. I really do appreciate that. I really do appreciate you guys joining me um, in this live stream. Seriously. Thursday. Today is Thursday. Okay, so I have to work on this client today. Um, I'm just setting myself up for my work today. I have some grants that I need to search for and apply to for my client I was just talking about. So we're still looking for more opportunities um, for his business. This doesn't really make sense. Let's check and see where we are with that. I don't know if it was asked already. Hi, Jerry. Welcome in. But do you need a brick and mortar business address? No. Mm-mm. Nope. No, you don't. So look at it from this standpoint. We saw people become millionaires or become successful entrepreneurs during COVID when we were all locked in the house. People building financial planners, candles and selling them, selling bakery goods, and they just became an overnight success during COVID, right? So because of that time, you can have something like a home office, or you can do a virtual office. A virtual office would require you to pay a monthly subscription in order for you to use that office address. Okay. But you are more than welcome to just use your home address as a home office. Okay. Awesome. Yep. You're welcome. You all are very welcome. So I'm going to let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern time. And yeah, we can just pick up from there. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. And thanks so much for joining me. Okay. Bye bye for now.